J. Trump, do solemnly swear. Believe me. Believe me. I guarantee it.
Okay, let's just talk this over.
Politicon with Larry Wilmore, Ann Coulter, James Carville, and Mexican El Presidente Vicente Fox. Tickets at Politicon.com.
Use your credit card.
Or your super PAC.
Welcome back, guys. We are here with the one, the only nightly show contributor, Grace Parra.
Gaze is fine too.
Yes, thank you, darling.
Yeah, Gaze.
You guys know what to do, but you don't. So when we count three, we're all gonna sit down and we're gonna scream, "Hua!" You got that?
Okay.
You just have to go.
One,
You got it.
two, three, Hua!
Now we got the energy out.
Oh, thank
Yes.
God.
We're good.
I was worried about energy
I have
in this
redeemed
room.
myself from mispronouncing your name.
That's okay.
Grace.
Gaze is fine.
Gaze is an interesting name to
Yeah, it's a little less sassy Latina.
Well, it's
but
also like gender neutral.
Nobody
Gaze.
gender neutral.
Yeah.
Gaze is gender neutral.
So tell us about Politicon and what you're doing. First of all, what is Politicon? I believe
okay.
this is the first year, and then what are some of the seminars or talks that you're going to be hosting at Politicon?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's actually in its second year.
Okay.
I went last year just as a fangirl because I love anything political. I'm a super big nerd about that.
Really?
I majored in political science in college. So I don't know. It was an easier major than the others. But yeah, it's a political convention that combines politicians and also comedians and personalities and journalists, etc. Everybody goes to this one convention center, which is in Pasadena this year, over the course of 2 days, and it's a series of panels and presentations and performances and a lot of, I don't know, Hillary sucking probably. We'll see.
Yes!
now that it's official.
But there's not going to be a lot of conservatives
Well,
present.
there is a good mix. There is a good mix. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Ann Coulter's going to be there. So.
Is she gonna be, holding Donald Trump's hand
Definitely.
at the Politicon?
It's a pretty small hand, though,
Yeah.
so
hand.
someone's got to hold it.
What excites you about the relationship between comedy and politics? I mean, what?
Well, the main reason that I majored in political science was because I wanted to do comedy first, but I love Jon Stewart and watching The Daily Show and watching The Colbert Report. When I was in high school and college, especially, it was just like this block of television is unbelievable. So I knew from an early age that I wanted to pursue comedy in a way that was going to be zeitgeisty and also hopefully intelligent. And politics, I don't know. Like, I remember being really. God, this is why I was a virgin for so long. But I remember when in Gore and Bush and was it 2000, that big election, and there was a period of however many days, 67 days or something, where we didn't know who the president was, and I would walk around my high school with a little fucking AM/FM and radio and listen in between classes to see what the updates were.
Wow.
And everybody else was like, "Yeah, you're the worst. Why are you like this?" And I'm like,
Nerd
"I don't know."
alert.
Hey, do your
Nerd
diligence.
alert.
I like
Nerd
that. I
alert,
respect
yeah.
it.
I loved it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, you.
Well, she brought up The Daily Show. You're on the nightly show. So tell us about how that came about and how do you feel being on a show that is at least inspired by the show that you used to love?
Right. It's oh man, it's incredible. I actually was up for a writing job on The Daily Show like maybe 2 years ago. I don't know, something like that. And the company that produces Daily Show also produces Nightly Show. It's the same circle of people of Jon Stewart's company. And so they had kind of gotten to know my work and knew that I was a writer, knew that I had done comedy. And I was hosting this show on Fuse called White Guy Talk Show right before I got Nightly Show. And when that ended, I was kind of a free agent for a couple of months, and that's when Nightly Show was like, "Oh, we're looking for someone, can you submit a tape?" So I submitted a tape. They were like, "Oh yeah, we know you." And then they flew me out to do my audition on camera. So it was like an actual, it was, and it wasn't, they didn't want to make me like nervous about it, but it was very clear, like, you got to do well on this or else, you nailed it, but you got to do well. Well, thank you very much.
She nailed it, obviously, right?
Yes.
That was a day where I had caffeinated coffee. I usually am too hype to ever
You're almost
deal with.
Cuban.
Yes,
I feel like you're like my Cuban cousin. I gotta be honest with
It's
you.
great.
I'm Cuban, so I'm like, oh yeah,
honorary
what's that?
Can I be an honorary Cuban?
You're totally not honorary Cuban.
You're already there.
Please.
But I have a question. What do you think about Mr. Wilmore throwing the N-word at the White House?
Yes, that was
before presenting President Obama.
At the Correspondents' Dinner.
At the Correspondents' Dinner.
Well, I was there actually. I
Were
was
you?
thrilled to get to support Larry that weekend. That night was oh my God, unbelievable. I mean, Bernie Sanders was right here to me. He was seated right here, and not romantic, guys. It was his back.
Thank you.
But, although I would.
Did you feel the burn?
Guys,
James,
there's some synergy happening here. I love it. The Smiths, as in Will and Jada, were like this far away from me. So it was a magical night, magical night. And I had heard some jokes from his speech, but I didn't know all of it. I didn't know how it was going to play, and I did not know about the ending. And when it happened, it was just like, Oh, goodness. I mean, the tenor of the room was weird. You could hear it. If you watch it back, you can hear that there are moments where the jokes aren't necessarily hitting, even though it delivered great and were very well written. It's just a weird crowd. So being there in this crowd of like 60-plus white guys, I had no idea how it was going to be received. I had no idea. It was afterwards when you really started to get the response from social media that you realized, you know what, it's not a speech, or that particular moment was not for the 60-plus old white dude to love or to embrace necessarily.
Exactly.
It was more than that. And I think it was awesome that Larry did
And
it.
especially how President Obama reacted to it.
Yeah.
He kind of saluted it. You know, he didn't give it, he wasn't like, oh, he was like, yeah, my man, you know?
Absolutely.
So that's
absolutely.
it, yeah.
Okay.
And I think it was one of those moments where Larry either had the opportunity to just fly under the radar with a speech that people would forget, or do something super impactful, and he went the ballsy route, which I think is admirable.
Okay, I need to know, where did the
Yes.
mistresses sit that night? And did all the old 60-year-old men have Viagra that night? You know,
Very interesting. I don't
But wait a minute, it's the correspondents' dinner. They can't afford mistresses. Okay, this isn't the political dinner, it's the White House Correspondents' dinner.
I do think that the escorts and mistresses were probably not at the dinner itself, but they were at the parties, because you know those parties were lit. That's when it got popping.
lit in the White House.
That's when it got
I
popping.
have one more question
Yes,
for you, though.
of
What do you
course.
think about Hillary being the first woman possibly be the Democratic candidate for the presidency?
It's a hugely exciting moment for women, I think. I do love Bernie. I believe that Bernie helped make Hillary a better candidate. My hope, though, is that we will actually see those changes enacted in her platform as we go on. All I know is anyone but Trump. And not anyone but Trump, but definitely not Trump. So
What about the guy in the corner who's also eligible to run for president?
Yeah,
not that guy.
not that guy, no.
So we're taking a short break, but we keep it here because coming up is award-winning journalist and anchor Leon Krause.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's